בשעה טובה. פרק ה', פסוק ז'. So you recall, yeah, we spoke about that Isha Zara. And the Gaon addressed that the Isha Zara is the Ta'avot, right? The Yitzhara of the Ta'ava. Pasuk Zayin. Ve'ata banim shim'u li. And so now, my sons, no, ve'ata banim, sons, shim'u li, listen to me, ve'al tasuru me'im refi, and do not move away, swerve from my words, the words of my mouth. Says the Gaon, ואתה בנים שמעו לי, מתחילה שמעו לי את החוכמה. Says the Gaon, when Shlomo Melech says, ואתה בנים שמעו לי, מתחילה שמעו לי. Says, from the beginning you have to listen to me. Try to from the beginning of your avodah, from the beginning of your learning, שמעו לי את החוכמה. Listen to the chokhmah. ואל תסורו מעם רפי, and after, says the Gaon, only after, תחזרו תמיד, do חזרה, and hold on, and apply what I'm teaching you. But מתחילה, from the beginning of what you're trying to learn, to accomplish, from the beginning, yes, listen. There is an importance, says the Gaon, or implies the Gaon, to focusing on the Chokhmah from the beginning of the process. Meaning, don't catch on later, like start the process, and then as you go, hold on to the Chokhmah. When you want to build something, its beginning has to be with a yesod, with a foundation that is based on listening to the Chokhmah. And then as you go along, you apply that Chokhmah, right, into actions. Another lesson from this pasuk, says the Gaon, Shim'uli, we said that the word Shema can also mean accept. נכון? קבל, מלשון קבלה. He says, תקבלו דבריי לעשותם. If you want to learn properly, from the beginning, that listen and accept what I want to teach you at a level that you're ready to accept it, to implement it and do it. Like we say, na'aseh v'nishma, right? The nishma is a nishma with not a commitment, but with an acceptance, an opening to actually implement it lema'aseh. ואל תסורו מעם רפי. He says, כאשר תקבלו לעשותם. He says, the level of execution of the chokhmah into actions depends on how much you're willing to to turn it into actions in the beginning of the process. So the more you're willing to accept it and implement it from the beginning, and the more you'll be able to translate the chokhmah into actions through the process. And says ve'ikar halimud, and the essential part of the learning, bishvil la'asot, so that you can do. And what is the transition between the chokhmah and the asiyah? And repeat, don't swerve from the words of my mouth. He says it's the chazara. The more you choser, the more you learn again and repeat and go over what you've learned, and the more you retain the information and are able to implement it into an accurate action. Good. So there is one hidush, that your focus on the chokhmah has to be from the beginning of the process of what you're trying to learn. This is the foundation. The second part is to be choser, right? To go over it again and again. And the Gaon explains that by doing the chazara, by being busy with reprocessing what you're learning, you don't let the ishazara, you don't let the yetzer hara get to your head. And then this translates into an action. The third hidush is that you should listen to the chokhmah with the will of action. From the beginning, you want to turn what you're learning into practical actions. And the more you're learning in order to practice, and the more you will be able to practice what you learned. Pasuk het. Good? We're good? הרחק מעליה דרכך, keep her away from your path, from your way, ואל תקרב אל פתח ביתה, and don't get close, don't get near the entrance of her home. Says the Gaon, that Shlomo HaMelech introduces again, something we've seen in the past in Perek Bet. The ta'ava, the desire, versus the hemda, versus the greed. And he says, he refreshes our memory. Hemda, the greed, the definition of the greed is lirdov achar mamon tamid, always run after money and always go from one place to another and fly wherever he needs to go just to amass more and more money. Says the Gaon, Shlomo HaMelech tells us, the hemda, the greed, should be far away from your working ethics to make money. Because if your greed is mixed with your working ethics, then your work becomes motivated by greed, and you no longer give the right proportion or perspective to the dimension of work in your life. That's achek mehalea darkecha. Separate, differentiate the greed, the motivation, the desire to want more and more and more, that edge that pushes a person, right, to go out of his way all the time to amass and to make more deals and more transactions and more work, more business, more money, from the actual line of your work. So the work has to be motivated by the right reason, which is to have parnasa, to be able to fulfill our obligation of the ketubah, the chinuch of our children, tzedakah, chesed, give parnasa to others, whatever the good reasons of making money for is. But in any case, should it be motivated or pushed by the greed? Arhek, right? Get far away from that. Separate clearly, right? The netiyah, the tendency of the greed from the work. Ve'al tikrav el petach beta. And do not get close to her house. This is focused on the ta'avot. Don't get close to the door of the ta'avot. Because la petach hatat roves, because the yetzer hara of the ta'ava sits at the front door, in front of the door. And says the Gaon, why does he say le petah el petach beta at the front of it? He says at the door. What does it say of her house? He says the nature of the yetzer hara of ta'avot is to get the person to be more complacent and heavy and lazy, and focus on the pleasure of the ta'ava versus the proactivity and the engagement. The hemda is the right. Where do you find the hemda, the greed? In the derech, on the way. The greed stimulates. The greed motivates. The ta'ava, the desire, consumes a person. The ta'ava makes a person heavy, lazy. He sits at home. All he cares is to satisfy his physical pleasures. So that's, yeah. When it's again point of references, right? When a ta'ava gets me lazy, then I know that it's dragging me into the wrong place, right? And when it's the greed, when I want something because somebody else has it, or when I want something because I need to have it, and it's not from the right from the right, from the right place. And this is what motivating me to go out of my way and jump in every direction, then I know that it's the greed. So these are points, of references that can help us determine the ta'ava versus the greed in our behavior. Pasuk tet. The danger of falling in the hands of the Yetzer Hara, of ta'avot, of desires and of greed. Pen titen la'acherim hodecha. Because you might give to others hodecha. Your hod is your vigor, but it's also, we're going to see what the Gaon translates. It's the life, the beauty that's within you, and we're gonna discuss it. Ushnotecha le'achzari, and you give your years to the cruel, to the ruthless. Says the Gaon, Shlomo HaMelech, he's telling us the price one pays when he gives in to the ta'avot and to the greed. It says, and he sets now the next psukim and break it down. They are related. It says like this: Shlomo HaMelech is addressing the nefesh, ruach, and neshama. We know that man has 5 parts: nefesh, ruach, neshama, haya, and yechida. But only 3 of those 5 are actually relevant directly and interactive with man. And these are the nefesh, the ruach, and the neshama. Says the Gaon, each one has an external dimension and an internal dimension. An aspect that's chitzoni and an aspect that is penimi. Here in Pasuk Tet, Shlomo HaMelech is addressing the neshama. He's addressing the collateral damage to the neshama. And he says the following: the neshama plays 2 roles in an individual. The neshama is the source of life, of physical life of the person, as we know. I think we've brought the Or HaChaim HaKadosh that explains the sod of Kriyat Shema al Amita, that every night the neshama goes up to Shamayim, right? Leaves the spark of that day and comes back with one spark less, right? So we do Kriyat Shema al Amita and we do Vidui, so that we do Teshuvah on the spark of the neshama of that specific day that will go up and not come back with us. This is the reason why a person grows older and becomes eventually frailer and frailer, because he has less and less of the sparks of the neshama. Because every day the person goes to sleep, there's one part of the neshama that stays up and not coming back. Yes.
Maybe, or is it that because before they lived like 600 years, 900 years, they were more pure, or?
No, what do you mean? No, what do you mean? Akadosh Baruch Hu gives a neshama with a specific amount of days, right? Whether it's 900 years, 200 years, 70 years, 200, and every night a person goes, okay, to sleep, and that spark, the spark of that day, okay, is being judged. Every night we're being judged on that spark. That's why we do Shema. That's why we do video. You do Shema on what? But that we do Shema, that's a chaz v'chayah, maybe the person doesn't wake up. But we really do Shema for that spark that's for sure not coming back. So the neshama plays two roles in a person. The role of the time the person lives in this world, but also cluster panim, the face, the radiance of the visage of the person is on the face of the person. The neshama shines, okay? It's I don't want to say it's feeling, but it's impression through the face of the person. It's called cluster panim. Also, that's the reason why you see the aging of a person on the face of the person more than on the rest of its body, of the body. And these are the two tselem, okay? The two tselem, the tslalim that a person has. He has a tselem Elokim. He has a tselem that is the face, that is the way he portrays, right? The way the neshama shines through the body. And another tselem, which is the years the person lives on this world. Says Shlomo HaMelech, Pen titen la'acherim hodcha. Says when a person fails in his actions and falls for the ta'avot and for the himdah, he loses these two aspects of his neshama. His hod, his internal beauty that shines on his face, his chen, his radiance, is now transferred to the Yetzer Hara. Every time a person fails in the ta'avot and in the greed, the actions that are the energy, the power, right? The effort that is done, that is invested in the action based on tava or on greed is now transferred to the Yetzer Hara of the greed and the Yetzer Hara of the tava. So that beauty of the neshama that is pure and that is given to the person to do good things is now transferred to the bad. You give to the others, meaning you give to the klipot your hod. But not only in the chen, not only in the radiance of your face, not only in the beauty of what shines in your face, which is the internal beauty of the neshama, which is the hod. You give your days of your life. Actually, you make to the achzar, to the achzar, to the cruel, right? To the ruthless, to the samechem. So it makes life shorter. And the Gaon, and he says he doesn't. He says it's very clear. He brings the Gemara in Chagiga, which we're going to say in a second. But he says ha'achzar, this ruthless, notel et hashanim. He takes those years, venoseh imo, and keeps them with him. V'zeh kashe meod. He says this is one of the hardest things that Hakadosh Baruch Hu gives the person life, and the person, because of his pleasures, gives the days and time of his life to the samechmem, to the Yetzer Hara. It says the person that lives a life of Torah, a person that lives a life of mitzvot, he has what is called hadrat panim. First of all, he's zoche to arichut yamim. It gives life, a life full of good and accomplishments, and Torah fills in the life of a person, gives the life of the person, gives a person more life, like we've learned, but it also shines in his face. You see the tzaddikim, they have a beauty, they have an aura in their face. That is the mitzvot, that is the limud Torah that shines through their face. That's the chen, that's the beauty, that's the radiance. And the opposite, when a person has a life that is filled with ra, with bad behavior, bad actions, not only that it shortens the person's life, but it also shows in his face. And the Gaon brings the Gemara in Masechet Chagiga. The Gemara says that one time the Gemara goes like this: that Rav Yosef used to, when he used to read a pasuk, ויש נספה בלא משפט. It's a pasuk in Mishlei that we're going to read. Right? ויש נספה בלא משפט. You have people that live this world without judgment. Rav Yosef used to cry. Mika de azil belo zmaneh. Is it possible that a person leaves this world before his time? The Gemara answers yes. And we have a proof to that. There was a maaseh with Rav Bibi bar Abaye. Rav Bibi bar Abaye was, the Malach HaMavet was always close to him. Rav Bibi he had the ability to speak with the Malach HaMavet. Once, Rav Bibi told the Malach, what Rav Yosef, this pasuk, and the Malach was busy. He told one of his shlichim, he told him, go get me the woman that make the braid, the woman that braids the hair. So the shaliach of the Malach, Hamavet, went and brought back the neshama. And the Malach said, who are you? He said, she said, I'm the neshama of the woman that raised babies. So the Malach Hamavet told the shaliach, but I didn't tell you to go bring her. I told you to bring the other woman, the one that braided the hair, not the one that raised the kids. So Rav Bibi Bar Abaye tells Malach Hamavet, okay, so send her back. He said, no, once she's here, she doesn't come back. So Rav Bibi says, one second, but it says Dor Olech Dor Ba. There's a set time for the generations. So the Malach says, don't worry. I keep these years and I give it to the tzaddikim that are ashamed and do not react. I give them more years to live. So the years of the people that lechaora, that woman that braided hairs of girls, she was not supposed to die. There was a mistake, and she was taken before her time. So she still had years to live in this world that were never actually completed. So the Gemara says, first of all, you see that you can lose, a person can lose years from their life. But what happens to those years? The Malach says those years goes to the tzaddikim that are being shamed by others and do not respond. The Gemara asks, but how did you have the opportunity to take? How can you go and just take someone's life if they don't? It's not their time. So the Malach said because the woman, she had a shovel. She was trying to take hot coal from the oven. The hot coal fell on her feet, burned her feet. It shifted her mazal, and it opened a door for me to come and take her neshama. That's the Gemara in Masechet Chagiga. You can look at it, Daf Hei Amud Aleph. The Sof of Daf Bet Amud Bet, Hei Amud Aleph. It's a very puzzling Gemara. The Gaon says, from here you see that if the person attracts, for whatever reason, negativity upon himself, he becomes subject to the rules of the Malach Hamavet. So a person, by his behavior, can chaz v'chalila make his life shorter, even though the Akadosh Baruch Hu wants to give him longer time. But if his behavior triggers an opportunity for the Malach to come and chaz v'chalila get involved, it can happen. Now, says the Gaon, this applies. Yes, the Gemara, it was a mistake. Yeah, but the Gaon says this applies to the behavior of ta'avot and to the behavior of chemda, of greed. Because the reason why you're now subject to their influence is because you trade with them a pleasure or an edge that they give you with the parts of the neshama that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives you. So it's like you're making a deal, you're making a business transaction with the Acherim, with the Achzar, with the Samech Mem. That's the optic, that's the hashkafa a person has to have when lo alenu he's exposed with a nisayon. This is the collateral damage on the neshama, right? So the chitzoniut is the hod, the shanim, the pnimiut is the hod, and he loses, right, from the pnimi and from the chitzoni. Ta'ava, chitzoni, the hamda, pnimi. Pretty intense, huh?
Rav, didn't we learn in the prayer of Rosh Hashanah for the 4 chaims, for the 4 reasons that chas v'shalom you could go, and we learned in that pirush that it could not be a time because you could be in sakana, you could be with the wrong people.
Correct. Nachon. And we pray for that.
Yes.
We
pray to be protected from those things as well.
Exactly. So that's exactly that's exactly a situation that we're praying not to be exposed to. So and here says the Gaon that the greed and the ta'ava expose the person to that exactly. So that is the collateral damage on the neshama. Pasuk Yud, we have time, yeah? We have time? Yes?
Yes, I have a couple.
Pasuk Yud. פן ישבעו זרים כוחך, maybe we are scared, right? Pen, lest that zarim, strangers, yisbe'u will get filled, will get satisfied, kohecha, with your strength. I mean, you're not only, right? Now that not only Shabbat, we're going to get it. Everything, all ba'atzavecha bebet nochi, and your toll is in the house of a stranger, of a nochi, of someone else. Says the Gaon, this is the collateral damage now on the ruach. He says the ruach has in it also 2 dimensions, an outside and an internal, a chitzoni and a pnimi. He says the chitzoni is that the ruach, what is the ruach? Is the instinct, right? The instinct, he says it pushes you to always be on the go. It's a motivation. It's an that triggers the adrenaline in a person and gives the person the motivation, the strength to physically keep on going and on going. That's the himda. That's the greed. And then the internal one in the ruach is the spirit that constantly thinks, how will I implement the desire of the greed? And that's the itzavon. That's atzavecha. That's the toil. It says when a person is always thinking on how he's going to implement his greed, he's always busy and worried. So he says, Penis be'uzayim kohecha. Penis be'uzayim kohecha. He says that's the physical strength that is being consumed, and the person, instead of being organized and focused, suddenly, right, the greed makes him go in every direction. So the ruach exhausts the person physically. That's the kochacha. And your toil, bevet nochi, and your toil, your mind, it mentally gets consumed by the thought process on how to implement that. That is the collateral damage on the ruach. So on the neshama, we have the years, we have the radiance of the face. On the ruach, we have an emotional exhaust and a mental exhaust. Good?
Rabbi, when you have the negative, so I understand how it affects you in a bad way, but if you're connected it back to the good reasons, right? Like we said earlier, and your desires to work hard and make money to do good things, give tzedakah, provide for your family, all these good things. Is the ruach then working in a healthy way? The two dimensions where the external pushes you and triggers you to stimulate.
Baruch. Yes.
Can you extend your time the same way it could be subtracted?
Yes, we addressed it. We saw it, but that's what the Torah. Kem hayenu.
Right.
Exactly. That's exactly true. Nachon.
And that's by changing the mazal, right?
Correct. Mazal in the sense of a specific time to live. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yes. Pasuk Yud Aleph. Because that's, and then Pasuk Yud Aleph is also connected. So now, so we spoke about the collateral damage on the neshama, the collateral damage on the ruach. Pasuk Yud Aleph is going to talk about the collateral damage of the nefesh. V'nahamta ba'acharitecha. You will roar at the end of your life. Bichlot besarecha ush'erecha. When your flesh and your body gets consumed. מלשון כלייה, לכלות. Now, v'nahamta, the roaring, is the of the pain and exhausting and no more hope and no more strength a person brings out when he doesn't have any, there's no more source of light or hope or life in front of him. He says this is referring to the collateral damage of the nefesh. He says the nefesh also has two aspects to it. He says you have the nefesh and you have the haya of the nefesh. Vayhi adam lenefesh haya, like the pasuk says. So he says the haya is what is the nefesh that gives life to the physical body of man, and the nefesh is the instinct that pushes the body to stay alive. So the life within the body is the haya, and the nefesh is the instinct that keeps the body developing and progressing, and the cells keeping on reproducing themselves, and hair on growing, and all the parts of the body that keep on rejuvenating themselves, the digestive system to operate, the heart to pump, the lungs to rejuvenate themselves, the kidneys to filter the blood, etc. That's the nefesh. The haya is what keeps the body alive. Alive. That's the life of the body. It says so he says the life is more found in the basar, in the flesh of the body, and the nefesh is what gives life to membrane and gidim, the tendons. And says the Gaon that a person, okay, is the ta'ava of a person, of the body, yeah, of the life of the body, right, is run through the membranes of the organs and through the tendons, the gidim, right, of the body. He says that's specific to the ta'ava. Bechalot besarecha v'she'erecha. So, v'nahamta be'acharitcha bechalot besarecha v'she'erecha. This is the collateral damage of the nefesh. So the ta'ava destroys the membranes of the organs, destroys the connectivity and the health of the gidim, and once again it's pnimi and chitzoni. So we have a collective collateral damage on the neshama of the hemda and of the ta'ava. We have a collateral damage on the ruach that is prominently from the hemda, because it's the ruach, it's more the hemda, the greed comes more from the ruach, and we have a more prominent collateral damage of the nefesh through the ta'ava, because the desire is more physical. So this is for this reason. Good. We have. Is it clear? Yes. We have the Hemda, we have the and the Ta'ava, and both collateral damages. Yes? How they collateral damage the Neshama, the Ruach, and the Nefesh. He says to go on, this is what Shlomo HaMelech starts by saying, Ve'ata banim shim'uli, Ve'ata banim shim'uli, if you listen what you shim'uli, we said to the Torah, to the Chokhmah Torah. And if you listen, then you save yourself from pentiten la'acherim hotcha. The Torah saves you from what? From losing the chen and the radiance of your face, the hod, your hod. Because the neshama gets fueled and enriched and empowered through the Torah. And the Torah, Limud Torah gives a neshama. Ki bi yirbu yamecha ve'yosifu lecha shenot chaim. So by learning Torah, you fill your bucket of neshama with more neshama. So you give yourself life. If you don't, then you give your hod to the other side. That's Ve'ata banim shim'oli. That's pasuk zayin. Then pasuk chet hachek me'aleha darkecha, right? That goes back that to the Hemda. This has to do with pen yizbe'u zaim kochecha. So when Shlomo HaMelech tells us hachek me'alea darkecha, push, separate, distance yourself from the chemda, meaning, right? We say dissociate the motive of your work from the chemda. Don't let it get mixed. This is a protection from pen yizbe'u zaim kochecha, from giving to the zarim, to the klipot, your koach, and becoming physically, emotionally, and mentally exhausted. And al tikrav el petach beta, and don't get close to the door of her home. Says this is the protection from the ta'ava. This is the protection for atzavecha bevet nochi. Don't by never crossing or not crossing the door, the entrance of her home, you protect yourself from physical deterioration of the body. You ensure healthy membrane functioning, healthy tendons and muscle functioning, healthy organ functioning. So then right? The Shlomo HaMelech gave us the cure, right? And the behavior we should have when it comes to Chokhmah, Chemda, and Ta'ava, and how to protect ourselves from the Chemda and the Ta'ava, and what it protects us from, because he exposed the collateral damage on both the Nefesh and Neshama of all three. We're going to stop here, Be'ezrat Hashem. So we did Pasuk Yud Aleph. We finished Pasuk Yud Aleph. Any questions? We're good. It's a heavy one, but it puts things in perspective, and we all need it. Tov.